Anonymous has struck again with a warning. This is just the beginning.
Anonymous is a collective known for recent attacks on government and corporate websites.
The internet is a powerful new medium where just a handful of people in small groups, just by shifting data around in the right directions, can make big changes and big damage.
The more you said, the more frightening it was.
The Pentagon is now singling out Anonymous as an example of the serious new cyber threats facing the country.
The fundamental unit here is information warfare.
We're gaining back the freedoms that the forefathers assured us through technology, and we can't allow these freedoms to be taken away. I will put my body on the altar of liberty again and again and again.
Information is the weapon, and information properly understood and properly used in an honest way is more effective than anything else in the world.
If you've got your eye on Boeing, yeah, please go for it. I'd like to see those fuckers go down. Download the code, modify the code just a bit, bombard the Pentagon. You're either with us or you're against us.
So the Obama administration and the DOJ has gone after whistleblowers and hackers with phenomenal vengeance. We're not going to talk too much about Barrett Brown because there was a panel earlier and there will be another one tomorrow, so we're going to focus a little bit more on both Weed and Hammond. But in general, the whistleblower and the hacktivist from the outside, the whistleblower from the inside, they share many traits. And can you...
Look, there was information that I had access to when I was in the government. It was crystal clear that what I discovered in terms of government criminality, massive fraud, waste, and abuse, and threats literally to public safety deserved to be free and made available to the public so they could be informed. And though I went the first few years, I went through government channels, I ultimately did make a fateful decision. In very early 2006, I went to a Baltimore Sun reporter with what I knew. But I knew that by going to this reporter, particularly with this leak investigation going on, that I would not only jeopardize my job, but I could find myself on a really short end of a stick and being charged with far worse. I actually knew that. And yet, it was not about me. It was about what was in the greater interest for the public and what was at stake. And so that was a choice I made. I mean, that was, we all have moral agency, and I chose to exercise that moral agency. One of the mottos that I continue to live by is you question everything, but especially authority. There's this weird thing now, this pathological transformation of government of, for, and by the people into simply, we're the authority. And because we're the authority, and we have the power, you dare question us, we're going to make sure you remain silent. Or we're going to make it so difficult that we're going to send the most chilling message to anybody else who would dare question us. And that's precisely what's happening in this country. And these are strategic decisions that the government is making in all of these cases. They want to set an example for others.
They also want to control the narrative, and whistleblowers and hacktivists are the narrative escapes from them. They can't control. And also, the courageous ones, the truth tellers, whether hacktivists or whistleblowers, you're willing to go to prison. That's a very rare, and it really breaks down the whole security system, because that's a sea change. People don't want to go to prison. They're just human and they want to live their lives with their families. But you and the hacktivists and the ones in my film all say, well, we knew we were going to prison. So what do you do with people like that? People who are willing to stand up for what they believe in, people who believe in the Constitution, the real patriots are the people in this film and yourself, against the security surveillance state. What does a state do with you? Well, we've seen what they do.
Look, you don't do what Edward Snowden did. You don't do what Jeremy did. You don't do what Weave did. You don't do what Barrett Brown did, right? Especially in this climate. You don't do what I did or Bill Binney and others. without the government saying, you know what, you're a direct threat, because you're not playing by the rules. See, these rules don't mean anything to the government. I am a prime example. I was actually considered to be the example the government was going to establish and prop me out on the public comment and say, this is what happens when you question us. This is what happens when you decide to expose information in the public interest. This is what happens because you betrayed the system. You betrayed this system. And those